policy I'd like to see be put into action.
The policy I want to see being implemented during the UN Ocean Decade
is one that encourages and effectively employs sustainable methods of fishing and agriculture.
One policy that I want to see put in place is a new high seas treaty to unite our nations in protecting this area of the ocean that isn't really controlled by any one of us.
For me personally, I support a policy in which recognizes indigenous land management practices, finding ways to implement them to fight climate change.
Better regulation on the maritime shipping industry that unsustainable growth poses to the maritime seascape and the biodiversity that these oceans include.
Enforcing marine protected areas in the context of sustainable fisheries, because I believe that the Taiwanese economy is largely based off of that.
I want to see a strong policy that safeguards lives in all parts of the ocean.
I would love to see more action taken to work towards a cleaner, greener atmosphere.
And instead of exploitative infinite growth models, we need to make sure that we're instituting practices that will help us build a circular economy.
I would like to see governments everywhere put in place strong policies to tackle climate change and other problems, such as by regulating big companies on plastic pollution or by making climate education a core subject.
For the UN Ocean Decade, I want a policy committed to the transition to clean and renewable energy
that prevents renewable energy sources along the coastlines from harming the coastal ecosystems.
I would like to see Policy 14, Life Below Water, achieved within the next ocean decade because I believe the oceans are very important to us.
The banning of single-use plastics because they harm not only our oceans, but our land environments as well.
Is a global treaty to be signed by world leaders and similar to the Paris Climate Accords.
I want to see a strong policy that will look after the health of our ocean and its inhabitants.
The Climate Action Policy, because Earth is our only home, and we need to do all that is possible to preserve it for future generations to come.
Canada should support the development of a Youth Advisory Council to its National Committee for the UN Ocean Decade because youth deserve to have a say in their future.
My homeland, American Samoa, should support development of a Youth Advisory Council because the youth here has a right to say something that they are affected by, especially from the environment.
We can create awareness, sensitize the population in order to sustainably manage our oceans.
I would really like to create a youth advisory council for my country, Brazil, because first of all, I believe it would be a great experience and opportunity for youth with the same goal to get together, but I also believe Brazil needs to let youth to interact together with the country and the country's decisions.
I think Cameroon should be one of the youth advisory council countries because this will engage more youth and educate more youths.
We're surrounded by ocean, so we're affected in a multitude of different ways by it, and we're incredibly dependent on it.
Because the future belongs to us. There's never been a better time than now to mobilize us to be a strong contributor to solve this challenge.
But I would love to see people from around the world join us in our fight for ocean conservation.
Because the youth has the most involvement and the issue will fully affect our generation.
This is because intergenerational problems require intergenerational solutions. We need both the wisdom of the elders and the new ideas of the youth to achieve an ocean full of life.
The future is really up to the youth, and we should have a say in what happens with our environment and with the world today.
I want a Youth Advisory Council to be established for the German Committee on the UN Ocean Decade because the opinion of my generation should be considered when it comes to policies that will determine what the planet that we will inherit will look like.
Because our generation is the one which will face the consequences of the present action.
Because youth are the future of both our country and the world.
And our voices and opinions deserve and need to be heard.